Hi, my name is Garcia, conservative candidate running for the State House in the 89th District, and I'm here today to introduce myself and to ask for your support. On Tuesday, August 3rd, the citizens of the 89th District will get to make a choice of who represents them in Lansing and who will be the voice of the district. As you decide, I ask you to please keep the following in mind. I am running to be the voice of the citizens of the 89th District in Lansing, and my conservative credentials have already been judged. I am the only candidate in the 89th race to be endorsed by iCaucus, a group of citizens who believe in limited government, fiscal responsibility, and adherence to constitutional authority and representation of the people to Lansing, not Lansing to the people. For more info on iCaucus, please visit them at iCaucus.org. You'll be glad you did. Michigan is in a mess. Conservative values and ideas are what is needed to get us out of this mess. And we have been in this kind of trouble before. And the answer has always been to cut taxes, reduce burdensome regulations, and reduce government spending. These are the answers to our problems. And like I said, it has worked before and it'll work again. Remember 1980? Michigan and the rest of the nation was going through the same problems we are now. And it was the policies of Ronald Reagan that saw us through these times. He cut taxes, reduced regulations, and that led to the creation of 21 million jobs. And to the government revenues, well, they almost doubled. That is the solutions I bring to Lansing. And this is what economic freedom does for our country. These are tried and true principles that have a proven track record of working. I'll also not tell you that if I am fortunate enough to be your representative in Lansing, that I will create jobs, like some of my opponents have said. I know well enough the government does not create jobs. The private sector creates jobs. All the government creates are government jobs. And believe me, we have enough of those already. I will never vote to increase your taxes. If the government needs additional revenue, cut spending, and let the economic activity of the state. And I promise to work tirelessly to reduce the amount of money the government spends. And to do that, you need to bring a new era of transparency, so to say. All state expenditures should be online so the citizens can see how their money is being spent. If this were true today, all the fraud and mismanagement that goes on will come to a quick end. When the bureaucrats that spend your money are suddenly held accountable under the light of transparency, you would be surprised how careful spending decisions are made. I also want to let you know that I am a solid pro-life candidate, and my views have never wavered, and they never will. I believe that life starts at conception and ends in a natural death. That has always been my belief. Michigan is at a crossroads now, and we can no longer rely on business as usual. People with so-called political experience got us into this mess, and they will not get us out. All they can promise is more of the same. And remember, no society has ever taxed itself into prosperity. Michigan is also burdened with a huge bureaucracy that is basically out of control. When a mother watches her neighbor's children as they wait for the school bus and then gets told by government that she needs a daycare license, this is madness, and it must stop. We need to give the entrepreneurs and the people that take the economic risk the incentives to go out and create the jobs, to start the businesses that employ people. Get the pencil pushers out of the way of our economic freedom. Government should not be in the business of picking winners and losers. Government exists to level the playing field, to make sure all sides play by the same rules, not to determine the outcome of the game. How would you feel if you owned a company that had been in your community for decades, employed many of your neighbors, always paid your taxes, and then the bureaucrats and politicians in Lansing decide that a company from out of the state or country with no local roots gets a large tax break to set up shop here? I'll tell you how I would feel. I'd feel betrayed and used. Government needs to get out of the private sector, and that is another reason I want to be your voice in Lansing. I end with this thought. We can bring our state back in this election. In this election, I also see special interest, and I see PAC committees trying to pick our candidates. And I can say as a candidate, the only debt I will ever owe is to the voters of the 89th District. Thank you for listening, and I ask for your vote on August 3rd. Together, we can bring Michigan back.